छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन है छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन
Hello, hello, hello. Here we go. We are ready. This is G. You're watching Allastrology. And we're looking at charts. We do birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. If you want your astrology chart looked at, I will give you a free speed reading. This is to help those out who are not able to come up with the money, basically, to get an astrology reading. So I will take a quick look. We try to be fair, distribute the time evenly with everybody. However, sometimes people come in and they give a gift to the channel because they want a little bit more time spent on their chart. So those people are going to get more time. That's just the reality of it. So with that said, we're going to start. We go by the names in the chat. The chat is our cue. That is our line. If you want your reading, get your digits in on the line, right? Wherever you're jumping in and saying, hey, how are you? Do you do a free reading? Make sure your digits are all there. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. Get your information to me. Have it all together. Don't make me go fishing for it like through 6 or 7 different comments and piecing all the pieces of you together. Get it all together. That way the chat goes a lot more quickly and smoothly for everybody. All right. So we usually do this at least a couple of times a week. It's Monday through Friday is a surprise live. So here we are today, a little bit after 3, we're going live. I'll probably be back again during the week sometime. Last week we did it on Wednesday. So if you don't have that little freaking bell thingamajigger, because that will tell you when I go live, basically. And then Saturday nights, every Saturday on the channel, we do something. And if you don't see us, that means we're doing the same thing, usually privately. Like last Saturday was an astrology class. That's is that the first Saturday of every month? Yeah, I think so. The first Saturday, no, it's the second Saturday of every month. Second Saturday of every month, astrology class, 7 p.m. Central Time. And then the last Saturday, I should say the fourth Saturday of every month, we do this same lineup. It's a live stream, but it's private. You follow? So maybe it's not really like a live stream, but it's in the real. It's just us together. That is very limited seating on that. So if you want in on that, send me an email down below. Actually, it's going right across the screen. You can see my email, allastrologee, and at the end, that is spelled G-E-E. Make sure you get the spelling right. If you don't, I won't be getting the email. Lots of people are like, oh, I sent you my digits. Nope, never got them. Check the spelling, folks. I know it's complicated, but just slow down and you'll figure it out. Okay, with all of that said, I also want to make one other mention that there's no ads during these live streams. That's intentionally done. We try to make this smooth, all right? So any way you can help, because if you don't run ads, you know what that means, right? YouTube is not going to suggest your stuff. That's just the way it works. So help the channel, help you. Share this out, recommend it, do whatever the hell you got to do. Help me to keep going and to keep offering these services. With that said, let me find the chat. Let me see if there's anybody here, because we're going to start. Don't want to waste time. Hey, Healing Readings, how the hell are you doing? Hope you had a good, fun time on Saturday. I imagine that you did. I thought, must be something really good to top the learning stuff because I know how high that is on your list. So I'm glad for you. All right. So healing readings. Kay, what's going on, Kay? How are you? If you haven't been here before, make sure I got your digits for those who have been here before. If I have your digits, you're probably in my system. You just might have to give me a reminder. Let me know that I already have your digits. But if you're new, yeah, get your digits to me. If you don't know your birth time, don't make it up. Don't make it up. We'll create a special chart for people who don't have their birth times. Healing readings said, I would love to see how the yod will affect me. Yeah, we're in a yod right now. Are you talking about the yod? We're in the Venus, where it comes out through Venus. It's interesting. How has the day been so far? It's been an interesting day. Actually the whole weekend, but today as well. It's been an interesting time. So let me pull your chart up, Donna. You are first in line, and that is how this works. So healing readings was first. The next person in with digits. Oh, then Gemini rising. Gemini rising, give me your digits in case I don't have them in this new software. I can't remember. If it's been a while since you've been here, you might not be in the software. Or if it's been a while since I looked at your chart, let's put it like that. And then Kayana or Kay, you're number 3. You follow how this goes. Emily, if you have your digits, I don't know if you do, because that's what I'm looking for, people who have digits. If your digits aren't in, then I'm going to kind of scroll to the next name. Bear Dragon's here a lot of times without digits. Look at that. Bear Dragon's like, Bear Dragon, we see you. Hope you're doing well. Yes, put me in the system. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. You don't know your birth time? Just tell me. All right, so let's go. Well, let's start off with healing readings. I know I've got her digits. Let's get Donna up in here. For those who might be a little concerned about leaving their digits in the live stream, okay, you can email them. The email's right on the bottom of the screen there. And if you do that, then let me know and make sure that your information in the email is connected to how you're showing up in the chat by your name. I hope that makes sense, okay? You follow? Okay, healing readings. I see you sent me a gift. You sent the gift to the channel. So let's get your chart up and then let's do a little bit deeper for you. And let's get this. Let's hope the tech is favorable. It was a little challenging last week. Yeah, I got somebody working in the other room and they're kind of loud. So forgive me if you all can hear that. They're one of those people who roam while they're on the phone and they talk and they're up and down, in and out of every, It's like, okay, chill, pick a room, close the door. Let me see. Where is my healing readings at? Maybe I have you under Donna Marie. Yeah, I do. Okay, great. Let's get that on here for you. All right. Again, thank you so much for the gift, Donna. Appreciate that. Share the screen. Let's get this going. Yay, it worked. Here we go. There was a week where I couldn't even show the charts, and that was actually, I think it was kind of favorable, to be honest. I was less prone to using astrology terminology. Yeah, I discovered that. I was like, maybe I should do it that way. But Don, I know you're all about the learning, so we're definitely going to keep your chart on the screen. So here we go. Current moment is right here. Oh, where did Donna's chart go? What the hell? Oh, I see. All right, here we go. We're going to get it up. That was the moment. There we go. Okay, there you are. Okay, so we have there's our Venus right there, 4 degrees. Oh, Donna, I see. I see. She's in an exact opposition to your Saturn. Okay. Absolutely. A work thing can be health as well because it's in the, well, this is really more your 5th and your 11th. So projects and tasks, day-to-day routines, but it's conjunct your Uranus, which can be authority figures, maybe possibly at work. Can be romantic partners as well, right? And it's at the number 6. So we even, yeah, there's more emphasis on work and tasks and projects, but also health. This says there might be some surprises because the Venus is connecting in. And what this usually means when we connect these two together here is a desire for excitement and something new and different, possibly a desire to need to claim my independence, whether I'm at work or even in the home, a little bit of more independent energy because I need a little bit of I just need to be me. I just need to have my space. I just need to be in my own space with my own energy. That's really what the desire is with Venus here. Now, let me connect you to your Pluto. There's the Pluto up there in the sky, and then there's the Uranus, but it's the Venus and Neptune. Okay, Venus. Okay. I'm just double checking all these things here. So when we have quincunx and the Uranus quincunx. All right, so this is going to come down to communication, thinking, learning, teaching, possibilities through paperwork type of energy, but reading, writing, but emotions connected to this, but something with the past for sure is coming in because there's just so much history. Now, you may find there might be something that's healing for yourself. The 5th house energy is where we find the courage. It's where we are in our comfortable, happy place. It's a place of creativity, a place of additional independent energy where we're uniquely ourselves and where we stand apart and where we shine brightly. So when I spoke of authority figure energy, this may be you embracing an authority figure type role even. That's a possibility. Now remember, the energy of the finger of God is going to pour out through this Venus, but it's going to continue on for you because it's going to be Venus. And because you have something at 6, you are still feeling this energy because this is going forward and connecting. And let me look over here real quick. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I feel like this is the trigger, the activator for you with the independent energy. So remember, you may be even connecting more strongly with something about yourself and health and well-being. And what I like about this is it can be really practical and tangible. It can be holistic. It can be alternative healing modalities. Maybe you're literally going independent in terms of doing something creative with this too. Like maybe you have some creative ideas. But the 5th house talks about us being like taking charge, like I am the boss, in addition to your Uranus energy. So I'm in charge of the fun. I'm in charge of I'm the activities director even, right? Like that would be this. So maybe it's a time where that is how you're going to that's part of you implementing fun possibly within your day-to-day routines even. But it's kind of needed for the sense of your emotional body even, right? There's that underlying link of we can't see it, but we can feel it. And it needing this. And so that jolt and that surprise energy, it just means you need to break away from the mundane, from the routine. That's what that means. So the big finger of God, Aries, Neptune's right there, Pluto's right there, Venus is right there, and your Uranus is bam, right there. So are you feeling fiery and independent? Are you feeling like I have to get away or I have to take charge? Because this is that energy. It might even be a new opportunity in maybe like a side gig type of work thing That could be something that comes up because it's the Venus and Uranus. The thing that is most stressed right now is that when you have new opportunities, and that is what this energy suggests, because you also have this very same Venus, a nice, beautiful, sweet trine to your 6th-degree Taurus ascendant. So it talks about for this short time, because Venus is pretty quick, there might be luck. And luck would be enhanced here because it's a Venus in the house of luck. You follow? 5th house is luck, where I take a risk, where I might gamble a little bit, right? So it's about pleasure, having a good time, creature comforts. You may take steps to improve your appearance because it's training your ascendant energy. So in the department of romance, Venus is connecting with that as well. Maybe you got some new admirer that you weren't aware of, right? There might be a little bit of that kind of energy with Venus conjunct Uranus. Maybe it's not somebody brand new, but maybe it's somebody in a current relationship that's looking at you in a different kind of way, in a more like exciting, like, oh, we've never been there, we didn't travel there, we're just kind of having an adventure and want to explore some excitement together. And if that doesn't work out that way, then you're likely going to seek your own little adventure. Okay. The thing about Uranus and the Venus connection is it's very momentary. It's organic. It's happening right then and there, and it isn't going to last long. It's fleeting energy. It's not, I'm getting serious with somebody energy. You follow? So it might simply just be that, or it could also come down to, like I said, about the appearance and enhancing beauty in some way. Maybe hair, maybe head because of the ascendant. But what about just simply enjoying the company of other people, Maybe feminine energy because it's Venus. So maybe coworkers, maybe neighbors, maybe peers, maybe somebody who you see on a regular basis, and there's just something grounding and calming about that sort of relationship. It can be pets and animals, of course, because it's in the Virgo energy as well. So if you have time, if there is time during this episode, because the Venus with its aspect, the finger of God energy, right? It's an irritation energy. Let's be clear. And that's why we usually take action with it, because we're irritated and agitated, like as if we got an itch on our back and we just got to do something. One thing to remember about Venus, one of her gifts, other than being really focused on the details, is she's very sociable. She's very sociable. So it would be a time to use the sociable energy, to be the socialite, to converse back and forth, and maybe give, maybe be a little bit more generous than usual to whomever. And it can be simply with your time, with your attention. All right. But overall, because it's in that 5th house, children may be part of this as well. Okay. Now, did you have a question? Let me see, because I kind of just went off and took off on it because you said finger of God, and I don't think I. Yes, that is possible. Yeah, because of the, it just really wants to connect in things that are basic. Even through just like food, Venus in Virgo, whether it's gardening and nature in some way, talking about and sharing recipes even. Like, I swear, not even joking, I just had a conversation with somebody where we were discussing recipes. That was one of the things. We were discussing recipes. And we were also talking about social events and parties, and the fact that somebody was discussing a recipe that they're going to have for one of those social events that are coming up in the future. Fascinating, right? And so it was just a swap, because I'm like a recipe person. So it's just like a swap back and forth of ideas. The other thing too that you have going here with this Venus, where the energy is pouring out of, and the energy is connected to long-term commitments, what you're building for your future, but also the deeply spiritual work, the spiritual leadership type of angle that you have here with your Neptune going through your 12th house in your Aries energy. The Venus will also be connecting with your descendant, the partnership energy, in a beneficial way. So you're going to have that working with your ascendant and your descendant. We're going to say all the way until Wednesday. So from now until Wednesday, your appearance, there's something that may look a little bit more different. The word beauty may come to mind, whether it's, what you're choosing to wear, hairstyle, makeup, whatever, clothing, but head's usually a big deal. And the descendant, the attraction aspect, right? The partners, the bonded energy, that would be the Scorpio on your descendant at 6. So Venus making that connection. So what I would recommend is to utilize the fun thing, right? Now, if you need time away, absolutely take it, because that's what this is then considered, a breakaway, but a grounded breakaway, which is why I think you're very fortunate, because it's really hard when people have Uranus like in air energy, because Uranus comes in like a lightning bolt. And when it combines with the electricity in the air, well, you know what happens when there's a big old storm, right? But when it's grounded like this with the earth, it is not going to break away and break out in a way that is like way over the edge, where we can't come back from that, right? This is more of a practical, logical, it's what I would call a smart way to break away, which can just simply be changing up something in my daily routine. You follow? It can, and that little change can sometimes satisfy that. But it would have been stronger with Venus conjunct it. And then I might as well tell you this right now. You're going to have Venus conjunct Pluto. And that's not going to be too far off. Your Venus is going to be, the Venus in the sky. So that's also, that's this week. This Venus will be touching your Pluto. This is deeply bonded energy, by the way. This is a deep connection. It is on the work home front. It's also literally on the home front. It's the practical, tangible, domestic energy. So Venus conjunct Pluto, there's a way of relating. And now whenever I say Venus and love and stuff, also is money, values. Okay. So in everything I just said, love is love and what we desire, but the money matters. We're coming forward as well. So in this connection, it is also about relationships, but because Pluto triggers a change of some sort, there may be some sort of a discussion, a renegotiation, possibly even, where we're discussing how something is handled in terms of finances, right? So there may be a change in a relationship, maybe an influx of money that could cause for changes, or it's possible that you part company with somebody. Okay, so if that's the case, it's important that you have some sort of a little fun money for yourself to the side for those times when you need to break away and break free to have your own moments. Okay, so these opportunities will only be available because you've made these small changes. You follow? But deep communications, deep conversations in connection to values, desire, and money. Again, oh no, actually this one now, Pluto, this is now in your 6th house for sure. So again, work and domestic energy. So if you stay tuned in basically to your intuition, because Pluto's pretty strong, it's the undercurrents. We usually initiate those changes. It's very deeply psychological energy. And at the 11 degrees, it's coming through like a lightning bolt. All right. So health might be a thing. Your health routine might be a thing where you're getting additional guidance, right? Staying tuned to your intuition can help you to heal even the past hurts and help you to forge new relationships in terms of with health, with work, even domestic pets, right? Or even just in the domestic living environment. All right. So communicating your true feelings, because it's Pluto. Pluto is supposed to show the truth. The truth is supposed to float to the top, right? True feelings with compassion is likely to help. And that's going to be the key there. All right. So that starts Friday into Saturday and probably part part of Sunday for you. All right. So I hope this makes sense. And yeah. Yeah. All right. So Donna says that's possible. No question. Just the gotcha. Okay. I just did that Saturday night. Good. This resonates. Good. Okay. Well, good. I'm hoping. Yeah. Well, I'm good that you did that on Saturday. I figured, like I said, if Donna's got something better than learning, because I mean, I've seen your chart and I know how much the learning is a big deal for you. But, without those breaks, yeah, we need them. We absolutely need them. All right, let's move on. So who had their digits up next? Did Kay ever get her digits in? She was up next. Okay. All right, Gemini. Let's see if Gemini Rising is still here. Kay, I see your digits at number 3 now when you got your digits in. Oh no, don't apologize, Donna. I see. Sorry, I missed class. It's all good. It ended up being, it was kind of a wild night. It started off wild, that's for sure. But it was a great class as usual. It's a lot of depth in those private sessions. Goes deep. It's definitely not for the not serious people. Okay, so Gemini's still here. All right, so let me see. All right, so let me look at Kate. Okay, so Kayana was here right after healing. And then Kayana has birth digits here. All right, so Gemini, we're going to take Kayana. Her name was next. Here's her digits. 904. Okay, let me draw this up for you. And then I need like 1 or 2 words, Kayana, of what you want me to focus on, or I'm going to read what comes through. And if I haven't seen your chart before, that might actually be best, because I really do have to get a good feel for your chart. I have to know who you are, but to some degree, I have to know who you are before I can pretend to, talk about anything else. Anybody should say that if they're reading charts. They have to understand your basic chart first. Otherwise, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but let me, Kayani Ann, is that how you say that? Oh, okay. So we have, is that October 6th, 1970? (9:04 p.m.) Jackman, Maine. All righty. Maine. Yeah, I heard about some crazy shit over there recently, right? All I know is I'm waiting for this Jupiter to produce and for the nodes to produce, because the United States is definitely in need of help. So with that said, let's get your chart up here. Have you seen your chart before? Kayani or Kay? I'm not sure which one it is, but here's your chart. And I think I need more water. This is showing a Gemini rising, 17 degrees. Saggy moon, in the 7th house. Ouch. Okay, so Kayani, have you seen your chart before? I think that's a yes to that. I'm not sure. Yes, I have. I don't understand any of it. Okay, don't worry about it then. I'm going to try to make sure I don't talk astrology and just give you what jumps out. And your 7th house so far jumped out. Okay. Okay, so I just want to make sure this is your chart, though, and that it's accurate with the Gemini 17 degrees and a 28 degree Saggy moon. Every now and then the software gets weird and shows me something that's not accurate, and I just don't want to read a wrong chart. So first off, you have a configuration. You have multiple things, okay, multiple signature objects, we'll put it like that, in your chart that show this lifetime is a deeply spiritual journey. And leadership role in terms of spirituality are strong, but there's a lot of wounds from the past. The past comes in quite strong. There's issues with significant one-on-one relationships. And it's, when I say the past, sometimes we think of childhood, right? Or when I was a teenager or something, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, whether it's other realities, however you look at it, any other time that is not right now. Soul memory, however you look at that. There is even like a mother wound, feminine wound. There's a carryover, and connecting in with partnerships. And, there's a deep connection with that seventh house and the public too here. But even this moon is part of this configuration that you have. And the configuration talks about moving forward in an area that might feel uncomfortable. You see, you have a superpower, which talks about being able to really analyze and focus on the details. And it can connect the dots. It's almost like I'm hearing homemaker energy, whatever, but this can be part of, like with pets, this can be people who are just used to keeping things organized, orderly, who come in and kind of there's just something about them where there's a basic sense of logic of there's a place for everything, a thing for every place. These are like the personal assistants of the world, is that strong Virgo energy. These can be home caregivers. They can be nurses. They do things in a one-on-one way that really connects. And it's really actually very important for the people that they are either working for or with. Because a lot of times this is just family members. It's domestic energy, right? So we even think domestics in the service industry. So whether you have a job doing any of those things, or whether this kind of activity kind of makes you feel good inside, as far as like emotionally, foundationally, there's some sort of an emotional safety and security of establishing, or just walking in and taking care of something, walking into the kitchen and cleaning up here and there, or helping out, or always wanting to just assist in some way. Remember, one-on-one service. So this would have been like the superpower energy, what came naturally, right? What you excelled at even. This time around, this is more of you're being asked to go forward in a way that is more about faith and surrender and spirituality. So we're being asked to release a little bit of that superpower, which had the ability to see, this is what's broken and I know how I can fix it. Because it can be really analytical energy, even critical energy, where your superpower is at. It's the one that focuses on the details. It can focus so hard that it doesn't realize other people might consider it to be a little harsh. That's a possibility. This energy can also speak to mom energy in general, however your mom was, or in the home as you were growing up. Just somebody who really, it was like enough already. Perfection. They wanted everything to be perfect and to be just so. The superpower going forward for you is a surrender and a release, and not focus, but to trust, not focus, to have faith, not focus on the little minutia, to say, okay, I don't see that. I just have to have faith. It's going to be okay, even though that's in the wrong place, or that's dirty, or that lid doesn't go on that, or whatever the hell it is. I used to have one of, God, this was back in the day. There was a house full of like 3 kids, another adult. You'd find you'd be in the kitchen and there would be you open at the kitchen cabinet where there's like canned goods, and you would find like nail polish, acetone. You'd find like all this shit that didn't belong there. Holy crap, that used to drive me nuts. I would be like, what the hell? What? Who? But it wasn't the kids. It wasn't the kids that did it because they didn't use that shit. The kids were really small, right? So it's kind of like that as a real basic example of how the Virgo energy, how your superpower, the Virgo energy in your fourth house, your emotions, your home, the mom thing, and literally home, the sticks and the bricks, cleanliness and orderliness, how it has to just take a back seat and chill, how it has to just be like, you know what? I'm just going to go and take a bath and escape. That is the superpower. Not many people get this as a North Node, right? Where they get to escape. The difference is use the escape in a healthy way. No drugs, no substances. The escape is Calgon, take me away in the tub, or go read a good book, or go do some damn art. That's what you're focusing on. It can be religion. It can be prayer. It can be meditation. Can be music even. You might find this, maybe you're doing a little bit of that already because you have this very dreamy energy in the placement of what I'm working towards, what I'm working on, my long-term goals. Your long-term goals have maybe a little bit of sacrificial service type of energy mixed in with it. All right. So it's not just plain and simple. It's just a matter of you experimenting and figuring out what that is if you already don't know how it is that you can surrender and release and get the opportunities to accept whatever is. Because this lifetime is not about perfecting people or systems. It is about softening, being less rigid, and softening into the mystery of life. You're here to discover beauty, the beauty of uncertainty, and to cultivate faith in something greater than your ability to control outcomes. All right, I hope that made sense for you. We are moving on. Let me save your chart into the system. I did. Great. Next, Gemini, are you here? Gemini Outlook. God, do I need some water? Hold on. Let me get your chart up here. Let me make sure you're in here. Gemini, you're September 30th, 1972. Is that you? Let me get this on the screen. Let me get up and I grabbed water, but it was empty. Yeah, that figures, right? All right. All right, it's Gemini. Oh, thank you for the feedback. Yeah, I got you in the system. So if that 100% resonates, then we know we got the right chart and we got the right time. That's good. So yeah, you're welcome to come back. And you take care. Thanks for stopping by. Gemini Rising said, I'm here. Woohoo. All right, Gemini Rising, give me a couple of words of what it is you want me to focus on. I'm pretty sure you have something. And get that typed in there for me. And let me check just to make sure. I got to double check to make sure if anybody, so that I know how much time we're spending here. Okay, let me get some water real quick. So hold on 1 second. Man, I didn't think I needed water like that. All right, we're back. I think the last time I did that, I had to get up in the middle of the live stream, and I think I shut the whole damn thing down. I think my foot hit the cord, the power cord, and it shut everything down. All right, so Gemini, I don't see any words from you. Let me see if maybe I got to jump. Oh, did everybody give a thumbs up to the live stream? That helps the live stream. Remember, folks? We're not running any ads here, so we just want to help this out as much as possible. Let me go see. Looking to see if I got anything that is challenging. All right, I see that there. Great. The phone had it, thank God. All right, so let's take a peek. What do you got here? Do you 12, 11? All right, nothing right now at the 4. Yeah, it's a big day. We got Mercury and the Sun together. You see this, everybody? Yeah. Mercury's about to completely pull off of the Sun. And so you, for your retrograde, 26 down to... All right. 16, nope, nothing there. All right, so she said anything challenging. $29, $21, okay, nothing there. Let's go with all right, so it's going to be a minute. Even when the nodes make their change, they're going to be in the same location for you for a while because you have mixed energy. The nodes are going to go to Aquarius and Leo. All right. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem. That won't be, normally it's just a challenge because it's change of energy. That's all. And so when that happens, it'll just be the South Node going into the Leo energy, which means when the South Node goes into Leo, it'll be in your 4th house of home and family, but you will likely feel a little bit, this is a combination energy of fun and party and let's have a good time and laughter. But it's also the, hey, I'm the boss, damn it. This is my house, damn it. Because it's Leo energy, the dad, the authority figure. So when the South Node gets there, you do have objects at 29, 28, 26, 25, right? So when this node gets there, there's going to be something there where you're going to feel, whether you've got children or grandchildren or, partners or housemates, whatever, where you may find yourself taking on more of an authority figure role. Not because you're being asked to, but you will just step forward that way. Even if you already are that way, it's going to come forward a lot more colorfully, a lot more direct, more bold. It's Leo, the king of the jungle. You follow? So that's going to be in the home. The good news is that comedy, laughter, fun can be, as long as it's done in that way, it'll probably be received okay. Because, yeah, children is part of this. So whether you got grandbabies around or whatever, just remember the fun and the good times. Now, you do have an object here. I think this is a part of fortune. It is. It's the part of fortune at 28 degrees. Yeah. Talks about the ability to be in the right place at the right time. Health and vitality, social status, eminence, success in life. You have that in Leo. That's pretty significant. So boss energy, but also creative energy, really creative energy. Oh, it's also the whole romance thing too. So that might come a little bit alive and reignite something possibly. On the other hand, sometimes when the South Node comes along, we let go of things, especially if we're holding on to stuff like that we used to do to kind of be in our happy place and to have a good time. It makes us feel like a kid again. Sometimes with that South Node energy, we tend to release and let go some of those ways. The thing about the Leo is it can be about ego and pride too. So there might be a little bit of that, right? That you're paying attention to and you're like, oh, okay. Right. So there just might be some of that as a challenge because Leo energy feels really confident. And for all of us with Jupiter in Leo, right? So that means Jupiter in Leo and the South Node in Leo at the same time. Confidence, courage, daredevil energy. this is you in the home because this is where it's all located. Now, this also will affect the opposite, which means that the opposition for the South Node anyway will be your career, your goals, your long-term plans, because that's where you'll have your Aquarius energy. So this means you might feel, again, we'll use the word daredevil to challenge authority figures, other people who might be considered a boss if you're working, or whoever has authority over you. All right. So that's the other piece of this that we all kind of got to remember. I'm the boss of myself. I'm the boss in my home. But when we're talking about boss at a job or out in the world, it's a challenge, because Leo energy thinks it's king, but Aquarius energy can come across as, but I'm the boss, damn it. So we just got to learn that we're dealing with fixed energy, and they bump heads hard. Okay. So knowing that in advance should probably help. And that energy, yeah, that's, by the end of this month, that's when the South Node clicks into the Leo energy. Okay. Yep. On your Venus. Oh yeah, that's going to be a while. Well, let's see how far off. We'll go real quick. Yeah, that's going to be. Yeah, that's going to. Yeah, you're talking like end of October, November, around that time. But the difference is, for you in your chart, it's going to be Jupiter on top of your Venus at that time. So, I don't. Yeah, I think that you having the Jupiter visiting your Venus can be beneficial. Actually, I think that can be a good thing. That can be something that where you're enjoying something or someone, the togetherness even, right? So hopefully that's something that you can look forward to. Yeah, exactly. Fingers crossed. All right, we're going to the next name. And the next one is, let me see. You got to have some digits here. If you don't have digits, I'm scrolling right past your name. You got it? I need digits. Gemini got her digits in again. Very good. This is my pet in my profile, Bearded Dragon. Well, Bearded Dragon, where's your digits? Okay, so it's looking like, Linda, it looks like you're the next person with your digits in here, from what I can tell in the chat. There were a few different names, but they didn't have digits, and yeah. Need your digits in here. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Wendy's here. Hold on. Sorry, Linda. Hold on. Wendy said that I have her in the system. Let's see if that's true. Wendy, are you still here? Yeah, if you're just getting here, it's your birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. Get your digits to me. We'll get your chart up here. You can ask a question. We go in order. For people who have the means, if you send a gift to the channel, I spend more time with you. Okay? Otherwise, everyone's getting a speed reading. Looking to see if I got... Okay, so Wendy, are you here? Wendy said, you put me in your system June 2nd, 66. I'm looking to see if Wendy's answering, if she's here. All right, we're moving on then. When I call your name, I'm going to give you once, twice, 3 times. By the 3rd time, if I don't see you back up in the chart to say yeah, or in the chat to say I'm here, then I got to go to the next name. You follow? You're welcome, Gemini rising. All right, we're going to the next name. We're going to go to Linda, because she was the next one here. with her digits. There she is. Linda. Are you here, Linda? January 1st, 1963, 1:15 to 1:30 a.m. Awesome. You have a 15-minute window. That's good. Carsonville, Michigan, last place of... Oh, you're giving me your last place of work. Okay. No. Linda's here. Excellent. Very good, Linda. You did it right. I know sometimes I can be confusing. I might miss things. I might, skip something because I've said it too many times and I might leave some pertinent thing out. But apparently, Linda P. P-L-O-E-P. 2687. All right. And Linda, what am I looking for? I probably should have clicked your name back on. Can this tell how the neck surgery I just did will change my life for better or for worse? You just had neck surgery. Okay. Well, we'll take a quick look and we'll see what we can see. So it's about health. Yeah, and that neck surgery, a Taurus thing, huh? And so for your time, I will go ahead and pick, what did I say? 1:15 to 1:30. Okay. Let's see here. And this is in Carsonville. Let's go one. We'll just start with that, and hopefully that's going to be... All righty. All right, 2 L's. Michigan. All right, have you seen your chart before? Let's get this up on the screen and see what we can see here for you. I just realized, so Daphne, I think you said you weren't currently working, so that when I spoke about that opposition, this is what's just coming in real quick here, all of a sudden creeping back in. That opposition energy, if you're not working, then that could be spouse energy. So whether you're married or dating, whoever, somebody or something you're committed to for a long-term energy, it can also be friends because it's group energy. Something or someone that you're committed to, building a long-term relationship with, that you've committed to for, a certain amount of time. It may be a challenge in that way. And that can also be technology because that was Aquarius energy for you. All right, let me get to this chart. Let me get this out of here and let's take a look. This is showing a Libra on the ascendant. And you are a Pisces moon. Interesting. At 16. Okay. I'm drawn right down here to Capricorn energy, 29 degrees South Node and 29 degrees Mercury. And okay. Interesting. So bones and structures, ligaments. I said ligaments. I meant the other things. Part of that spinal column type of stuff. It's all Capricorn stuff, but it's also, that can also be part of some Leo energy too. But Taurus normally is the area that rules the neck, and you have Taurus energy on the 8th house cusp line. Wow. You even have that at a Mercury degree, and you have a vertex point there, which talks about fated energy, events that occur. Okay. And this has to do with the head. Interesting. Fascinating. All right. All right. Let me check out so your sun was trining all that. Jupiter, Neptune was trining all that. Vega trines all of that natally for you. Sirius also. Oh, so you have a really strong earth trine here. Really stable energy. That's a benefit. And if you look at this chart, huge Merkaba in your chart. Usually people's charts like this, things kind of, the energy easily occurs. Okay, let me go to what you wrote. From the next year, I just had will my life change for the okay. So let me see. Had you been living with limitations? You do have the Saturn degree here, as far as with home, childhood, mom energy, emotions, family, house, literally where I live, cold, rigid, separated, maybe even like unbelievably structured, too structured kind of energy, boss energy, like running home like a business. And so structured can be physical structures even, but that might even be within our own body. Sometimes the Capricorn stuff can represent like we have to wear braces on our body. We're restricted in some way, like our mobility in some way. But would talk about maybe even a restriction of mobility with and around emotions and family. Okay. But the Mercury on that south node I'm thinking that had to be a benefit. So I just gotta, okay, so that's quincunx with Regulus. Let me see if you have, not exactly, but almost. Okay, that's interesting. So, okay. Okay, so, this is probably something that, we just gotta, I said the Leo energy, and there it is. It's your Mars right there at 24 degrees in Leo. It's a retrograding Mars. And according to this chart, this planet Mars, Mars can be what creates swelling and inflammation, but surgeries, okay? And Saturn would be the restrictions. And for you in your life, Saturn is the one that's created restrictions for you, for sure. Because it's just the setup you have in your chart with the location of certain objects. Saturn is your great malefic. So delays, slowdowns, more very structured energy, as in, if someone's not, as if they are like the authority figure, very authoritative within the home, but it also shows group energy here. So whether you were a part of a group environment, whether that meant science, whether that meant inventions, maybe even, like I said, if there were things you had to use, tools, medical tools or whatever. I mean, this can look a lot of different ways, but this is all in the home so far. This is all childhood so far. So even if it wasn't like physically, these things were like this, energetically, it would have been this way. You follow? Which, the energetics, by time the energetics, they're creating what physically manifests, right? What's the teaching? By time we see it in the material and the tangible, that's the caboose on the train, right? meaning what preceded it, that's where it would have been the time to get a hold of it. So with all of that said, your great benefic is this Venus over here at 25. Okay, well, she squares, your great benefic squares Mars. And remember, I mentioned you have this big Merkaba in your chart. So that means things will easily happen. You can see it. It's the double star system. It's what I call the Solomon star. It's very prominent. You see it in the blue lines, right? You see a blue star that way, a blue star, a triangle that way. And so it makes this great star. But you have multiple kites in your chart as well. The first one, when somebody has a kite, this is like a spiritual journey. The people with the spiritual journeys usually have physical limitations of some sort. Okay. Hold on a second. What's going on here? Let me see. Let me go to this other thing here. Birthplace. What? Birthplace, Pontiac, Michigan. Oh, well, then let me change something. Holy shit. How did I see that? Let me see this. It's Linda. Birthplace. Where the hell did I get Carsonville from? Oh, God. Okay. I apologize. So please, folks, I don't know how the hell I did that. Pontiac. All right, let's make a change here. This is where I talk about I don't like the delays of me reading a wrong chart for God knows how long. For some reason, why doesn't it not want me to? Okay, let's try this one more time. Let's see what we get. All right, here we go. So, Linda, did you say if you've seen your birth chart before I read anything else? Back and neck pain. Okay, yes, for 30 years. For 30 years plus. All right, I'm not going to go backwards too far. Okay. Mercury retrograde. Oh, that's for sure. All right, so here this chart shows, thank you for answering. No, you haven't seen it. All right, so here it is. I don't know how far apart Pontiac and the other place were. Not much changed. Not much changed. So they must not be too far off. Right? The other one was still Libra. Because I'm still seeing Mars in the same spot on the 11th house cusp line. So even the Mercury's the same, the moon is the same. So not much has changed. So those locations must not be too far apart, so we can keep reading. That also means that everything I've said so far is accurate, unless your birth time's way out of whack. So, okay, so where the hell was I? Your greater benefic is Venus, and she's in a strong square with this Mars energy, which is really needed here. Group energy, social support system, 11th house. It also, 11th house is friends who can be very beneficial for you, but also this would provide domestic support as well. So I don't know if you already have that or not, but this is what this provides. You have Uranus and Pluto there. Now, let me see really quickly, just to double check. You have a very strong Mars, and this can be tricky. Because that Mars is so strong, and it being with the Leo for the next stuff. And you have Pandora's box. You have a lot of stuff that trines it. Okay. Okay. A lot of stuff from the past. Okay. So your goal in terms of the soul energy is to release control, release the rigid structure, release. There's something that is, this energy is what controls a lot of the structural stuff that happens in our body, spinal stuff with the neck. And this was one of your superpowers. And it's connected directly to your thinking, your thoughts, your communication style. It asks the challenge. It says, can you take on the challenge to maybe work a little less hard, to not look so much for people to look up to you, possibly even to being the boss. It talks about humility and being able to express our emotions. It says that you have a wealth of wisdom, but it might be hard to express that energy. So, believe it or not, connecting in with that would help. I know you want to know, is the surgery going to help? The surgery only helps if we do this other deeper inner work I'm talking about. Does that make sense? The combination would be like home run, would be like phenomenal, would be like, okay, this time it's going to work. We got this under control. But that's where the change has to occur. The change has to occur there, where I become more empathetic, more nurturing, where I become more warm. And it's not to say that you're like some big meanie or that you don't care. This is not what this is saying. This is just based on a lot of the energy that you've carried forth with you. So it talks about growing into your own intuition, your own emotional depth, discovering there is great courage in opening your heart. Because as we open the heart, it goes up through the body and we open up other realms and things become more aligned and more balanced. And the other stuff sometimes, it gets knocked out of whack. It doesn't move. It becomes really very extremely rigid energy. So this is asking you to align with the life path that creates a foundation of love and belonging. And this is a huge challenge because it's at the 29 degrees. But if you can accomplish that, if you can do that, that will allow what you've had done to truly flow freely better. Because your Mars at this degree and in Leo energy talks about a creative form of expression and letting divine energy flow freely from you. So whether it's the divine energy, creator, universe, something that's greater than you, whatever word you want to use, but letting it flow effortlessly and freely from you. And that's a life's work. It's a big deal. It's a life's work. So sometimes, especially since you have the Scorpio energy in the second house cusp, this is deep, deep emotions, possibly betrayals and tragedies and trauma. And sometimes we might need to talk to somebody to help release some of that stuff, just so that we feel safe to talk about something, right? So if that's the case, if you have an opportunity, whether it's personally or professionally with somebody, then maybe look that up, maybe past life regression kind of energy to help, discover some of that if you don't know what some of that is. But a lot of the energy that we carry comes with us just not knowing who we are, not loving ourselves, not accepting ourselves, and ultimately betraying ourselves. And that's like the source of usually all the wrongness that happens within us. So this is asking you to kind of have faith in that and to kind of tap into that. You follow? So I think it's a combination. All right. I'm not against, following doctor's orders, but I think it's a combination of doing the inner work, right? And our inner networks, our inner work. Yeah. So hopefully that helps you. I'm going to save your chart into the system. But just remember that Leo energy is very optimistic, very optimistic. And I'm just thinking, okay, so your great benefic Venus, she was already there. She's now on your Uranus energy right now, which is how you're here. Venus in your 11th house of astrology and online, doing something different, something new. Venus is your great benefic. This means Venus is also part of the angelic friends and asking you to ask for help. And sometimes the asking to ask for help is simply just saying, I need help. Help me. You know, I can't do this alone. This is beyond my capacity. I need your help. I need you to step in. I need you to take over. I need some solutions here. And a form of surrender and tell me, okay, what do I got to do next to get rid of this? What do I got to do next? According to that chart, you're not used to being in that position. According to that chart, you would be somebody who'd be used to taking command, who'd be in control, and who would work very diligently, very hard, and just, do what needs to be done. Responsibility and duty would have been big and very, very serious energy. Very serious energy. So keep at whatever you're doing if you're finding something that's working for you. But surgeries are only part of the answer, is the answer. All right. Who is next? Let's keep going here. All right. Who's after Linda? I'm scrolling, looking for more birth digits here. Me again. How are you? I send you an email. Oh, great. I have questions. Am I going to move? 4th of July already passed. This time I have questions. 4th of July transit hit me in all houses. Am I going to move? Let's go see your email. This is NN. Did NN send me an email? Istanbul. Our building going to rebuild. Time that the building itself was established? Is that what this email says? January 14th, 1975. This is its time of established. So in other words, you want me to create a chart for the building and you want me to know if it's going to be reborn. Is that what you're saying here? And I would assume the location and all of that. Yeah, you got to have a location, a city, country. You got to have all that in there. But am I understanding this correctly? According to the email you sent me, you want me to create a chart for the building. So I'm going to go next. You reword that for me to make sure that I'm clear. And I'll come back around. So Mr. Reborn says, in my browser, the likes are disabled by owner. Oh, you can still click the thing. Go ahead and click it anyway, Mr. Reborn. It shows up. You don't see it on your end, the YouTube. The reason I don't have it, and it is disabled by the owner for a reason, but the system still counts it. You follow? It is to discourage people from coming and to just clicking a thumbs up for no freaking reason, or prematurely clicking a thumbs up, or other YouTube channels from coming by and saying, I gave you a like. Will you come over and give me like? I don't want any part of that. I don't have enough time to be doing that. So yes, that was intentionally done. But yep, definitely click the thumbs up if you are trying to help the channel. That would be great. You could share it out, do whatever. That helps. All right. So Vicky says hello and greetings. Hello, Vicky. Gemini's got her fingers crossed. Vicky says, can I ask my question? What's digits, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state? Have all your digits together on the same line. I don't have time to go fishing. All right, Samantha's got digits. May 5th, 1999, 8:12 a.m. Port Huron, however the hell you say that, Michigan. Does that sound about right? Samantha, are you here? I'm going to get water. Let me click over to the... Oh, there's Samantha in the... Oh, very good. All right, so I don't need the last place that y'all lived. Maybe that's how I got mixed up. I need your birth location, okay? And I see you have it here. But if you put another city in there, yeah, maybe that's how I got mixed up on that last chart. Yeah, all I need is your birth location. If I was doing where you currently live, that would be a whole different thing, which wouldn't be part of a speed reading. That takes that's more time. That's looking at multiple charts. So with all that said, let's get this chart created. Let me see if Linda's still here. Samantha said, yeah, I'm here. Okay, great, Samantha. Excellent. Let me get your digits going. May 5th, 1999. And 8:12. Okay, great. 8:12 a.m. Oops. And Port Huron. Okay, I think we've got you. Have you seen your chart before? Let's see if I can get it up here. Let's see what this says here. She said, yes, I've seen my chart before. Great. All right, that helps. This is Gemini rising at 17 degrees. And I've got a moon in Capricorn at 7 degrees. In your 7th house. Barely. Retrograding Mars in Scorpio at 0. Wow. Watch out. Yikes. All right, you have some intense energy in your chart. You even have a freaking Pluto retrograde in Sagittarius. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Well, so far, do those digits make sense for you for your chart? Because this is going to tell me that 8, 28, 21, 21. Wow. Leo in the 4th house cusp line, strong creative energy, taking the authority within the home. And then you have your North Node right there in Leo too. Which means your South Node and Uranian energy. Wow. A quest to develop inner strength. Times of independent energy, which this is a superpower for you. Doing it, going it alone. This is tech, this is science, this is astrology. This is very inventive, creative, original thinker type of energy. Whoa. Right. Tech at the midheaven as well. Social systems, social structure, social order, global energy, right? We think of supply chain, but we think of just how all the moving parts, all the moving pieces of how the major systems of the world occur. Like, holy crap. You have the Jupiter energy up there too. Wow. So this is a very strong point for a person to have at their midheaven. This is meaning you're using an old life skill, something you really already mastered, and you'll be building upon that really strongly. So science and tech, space, all this energy. Very different and unique. You're being asked in this lifetime to go the opposite route, the exact opposite, which is the Leo energy in the third house of talking and communication. This would even be inspirational communication. It can be a little dramatic and kind of like sales and colorful energy, but very lively energy. This can be even business and commerce with the Leo energy. And many times we can still kind of have this go it alone energy because this is still boss energy, but this is energy that's supposed to be connecting to generosity and courage and heart and higher heart energy. You follow? So with this strong individuality that you developed and that you still already have, this is about confidently, courageously stepping into the spotlight. You follow? So one of the superpowers of the past is some of that independent stuff, but it being relied upon group approval. This is the exact opposite. It's not so much concerned about the group approval. This is more about shining in your own right. It encourages you to cultivate more creativity and self-expression is the bigger deal here. And joy, authentic living, authentic self, and experiencing joy through creating but through expressing. Remember, this can be very highly dramatic energy. Having this in the third placement, Leo energy is connected with people with great vocals, great voices even. Taking center stage, inspiring others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of confidence and self-acceptance. This is about leadership roles or simply living with more of an open heart even. Joy and playfulness, party. Yeah. Loving warmly and wholeheartedly, allowing yourself to pursue what brings you happiness and passion. There we radiate natural warmth. It's Leo energy. When our light shines, the things and the people around us grow. That's one of the really beautiful aspects of Leo energy. We often have to be cautious about the pride and the ego, of course. But honoring Leo energy is honoring your heart and your higher heart energy and following your heart by expressing boldly your path, whatever that is. Finding fulfillment and becoming a beacon of light of joy for yourself and others. Leo likes to make people laugh. It uses humor, right? It likes to entertain. It likes to be entertained, for that matter. You do have a report card right here, a home report card with the Leo energy. So this would be connected possibly to children as well. So if that resonates for you, if it connects strongly to children, which I feel like you already know about this energy though, because you have a really strong trine in your chart with the node and your fourth house cusp line, children, home, and family, fun, creativity. But you have Jupiter. You have your seventh house cusp line of partnerships. All this fire energy connects really strongly, which when we have all this connecting strongly, it makes it easy. It's trine energy. It's kind of effortless. It's kind of effortless. The trick here, though, in your chart is the Uranus, which is the point of expect the unexpected. You never know what's going to happen. This is the energy of it's the energy of higher thinking, higher thought. It's ideas. It's ideas, high intellect and ideas. This is where our scientists, right, get their downloads. This is where the inventors get the big aha. We get these big, great ideas that just kind of pop in out of nowhere. But it loves the element of surprise, especially in group energy. And sometimes it can use humor to do that. So I don't know if this sounds anything like you. I kind of not following family, but no children or partner. Okay, so this doesn't sound like you then. Not about Pluto retro, not totally sure about the rest. Not following. Yeah, well then maybe this isn't your chart if it doesn't follow. Maybe it's the wrong chart. Are you a Capricorn moon at 7 degrees? Gemini at 17 on the ascendant? Because the north nodes and all that information I just gave you, like if that didn't resonate with you, then I would say this might not be your chart. That's what I would say. Or if this is your chart and things that you value, maybe you're not aware of some of those things. That's a possibility. You got a lot of energy in Taurus hidden in the 12th house. And that Taurus is what I love, who I love, my values. It's all hidden from you. So maybe there's a little bit of that taking a part of this. I don't know for sure, but the Pluto energy is intense. The Mars at 0 degrees is going to be extremely intense, bonded energy, desires, shared desires. Mars at 0 in a retro it means I'm going to take action with something. I'm going to be like the warrior even. This is energy of, if I'm going to go into battle, I want this person on my team, not as my adversary. Really intense energy. But the Pluto too, the Pluto and Saggy can be very much intense energy, a searcher and a seeker of truth, but intense about it. Intense about it. And maybe it has to do with yourself and your own health. But somehow you've weaved in spirituality. But even if maybe you haven't gotten there, maybe you don't weave in spirituality. Maybe it just has to do with your job, your job. So if that's the case, then some of the things I'm reading, maybe it's not time to hear about them. Maybe that's what it is, huh? Maybe I'm reading too deeply. That happens. Sometimes people just don't get what I read. It's either that or it's not your chart. But yeah, taking action, a lot of fiery energy here. Yeah, 12th house is always absolutely very confusing energy. Oh, yeah, you don't have to have kids. I just said that this may include children because it's the Leo energy and it's in the 4th house. So what do you consider your child? You know, I don't have any children, no birth children, but there are people in my life that I have literally helped raise. There are pets in my life that I would consider like children. There are even other people in my life at times that I definitely consider that are like my children. There are creations, things that I've created, artwork I've done, where it's actually definitely a part of me. It's definitely what I would consider a child. Some of the objects I absolutely don't, they're not for sale. You follow? So there's lots of different ways to consider this. It just comes down to how you use the energy. But Leo energy absolutely is like, I'm the authority. Yeah. Yeah, and Saggy definitely is spiritual energy. And you having the Pluto there, these are going to be seekers of truth. These are going to be the folks who will probably go to the ends of the earth and back to get to the truth. And that Scorpio energy, that Mars and Scorpio, these are people who will dig, who will excavate for the truth as well. They are diggers, they are drillers, they're intense energy. And many times the intense energy, we don't know we're intense. It's the people around us who have to tell us that we're intense, just letting you know. So maybe talk to some people that you know and see what they have to say about that. And you might find, there might be a little bit of some revelations there for you. All right. I think I have your chart saved. Yep, I got you saved. So you're in the system. That way, if you ever come back, you're already here. All right. So I see, did this Vicky just gave me a birth location and a date. Yeah, you need your birth time. And if you don't have it, well, I would need a city as well. State of Texas is pretty damn big, Vicky. At least that's what the folks in Texas tell me all the time. Okay, so yeah, once I start reading a chart, this person that said this, yeah, I know it's tricky because you see me, right? And you think I can see the chat. I don't see the chat. I look at the chart and the chart is on a whole different screen altogether. So once I'm reading a chart, I only see the chart in front of me. That's how my eyes work. Both of my eyes look at one place at one time. You follow? So once I'm into that chart, I usually don't come back to the chat until I'm done reading that chart. I know it's a pain in the ass sometimes, which is why I try to make sure we got this stuff. But thank you for the notice. Oh, Lou S is here. What's going on, Lou? Lou S, been watching the Yad video for a week. You rewatched the Yad video. Good. I hope it helped. Were you able to understand how to find the Yad? Because in that Yad video, I know I cut a lot out. People just don't have, if y'all had any clue how long my videos actually really were. My editing, holy shit. My videos are cut. God, what you're getting isn't even half of the video. Really, what you guys get by the time I put it up on YouTube is maybe 30% of what I actually recorded. No shit. People just don't have the brain. I don't want to say the brain. They don't have the time. They don't have the attention, the time, they don't have that. They just don't have. Yeah, they just don't have it to see it for that long. And I get it. If you're not into it, it's awfully deep. But if you rewatch the video, you'll probably figure it out. It's 150 degrees this way, 150 degrees this way. Venus is down here. She's got something at 150 up there. Same way over this way. So it's 150 degrees and Venus is down here. You follow? And that Y for Yad, finger of God, right? That's it. So Venus is going to say practical values. Show love in very practical ways. I made sure that my husband's favorite drink was in the refrigerator. You follow? I made sure I dusted for him. Shit like that. Did his laundry, right? That kind of stuff. I ironed. I cooked, right? I helped him with the yard work. You see, it's Venus in Virgo. All right. All right. So, and I got you in the system. If I'm going to move, then there is no need for the building. Then definitely the building is gone. All right. So here we go. We got a look at this. We got a location. All right, Vicky, are you still here? I'll give you a noon hour chart. Tyler, Texas. I don't know my birth time. Okay. Chef Rihanna's here. All right. We can get you a chart. Let's do Vicky first. Then it says Chef Rihanna. Then it says Biddy. All right, you guys got the gist. You got your names with the location and the information I need. Thank you. That helps. Tyler, Texas. Very good. All right, so Vicky's like, I am still here. All right, Vicky, let's get you up here. Let me double check the email. All right, so remember now we're doing these readings. Everyone gets a free speed reading. For folks who have the means and who want me to spend a little bit more time on your chart, you send a channel gift to the channel. If you don't have the means, don't worry about it. I'll give you a speed reading. All right. Vicky Swana. All right, that's a name I was able to pronounce, I think. And we have March 11th, 1971. And we're going to give you a noon hour chart. In the future, Vicky, you should be able to go to the county that Tyler, Texas is in. Most states nowadays have an online where you can actually contact them and you pay a small fee, usually a reasonable fee, and they'll look it up, your digits. They'll get your information to you and they'll send you your birth certificate, and your birth time should be on there. Now, I could be wrong. I can't speak for all the counties, right? But typically that's how it works. And then when you do that, whenever you do that, because I know I had to do it when I lost, I don't know, I didn't lose, my shit was in another state somewhere. And so I just said, I'll just send in for another one. And I knew my birth time, right? But I had to have the actual birth certificate for some paperwork or something I was filling out. And it took, once I sent the money in, which was easy to do, it was online, they gave me a window of like 3 months before I would get the certificate sent to me, a processing time of up to 3 months. And I thought, holy shit. I didn't think, you think it's online, it's not going to take long. So if anybody's thinking about it, it's best to do it sooner rather than later. Because if you're ever in a pickle where you somehow need it and you don't have it, it could be a long wait time. So it's best to just have it ahead of time, because 3 months is a long time to wait. And I was in a situation where I needed it. I had like a deadline. And so I ended up missing the deadline, which was fine. But at the time, it didn't feel fine. At the time, I thought, holy shit. But everything worked out, thankfully. Yeah. And that's for everybody, wherever you guys live, at least in the States. I can't talk about anywhere else because I don't live anywhere else. But so let's get your chart on here, which means this is you. Kind of exciting. If you haven't seen your chart before, March 11th, 1971, Tyler, Texas, gave you a noon hour chart, which means this is you, but some of the details are going to be slightly off because we don't know your exact birth time, which means I have to remember not to look at the house cusp lines because that's where the birth time comes in. So this is telling me that you are a person that will find emotional security, emotional satisfaction, emotional safety when you are in a place that is more neat and orderly. Now, because I don't know where this is in the chart, it could be anywhere. It could be at work. It could be at the career. It can be when you're with friends. It can be in talking and communication. It can be when you're creating something neat and orderly. But an element of focusing on the details, providing a little bit of structure and even organizing because we want things to be just so, like they should be placed in smart locations. Things should be functional. I walk in and I want something, I want to improve upon something. Like I want to leave it better than I found it. I want to, this might be even where I'm helping people emotionally satisfied when I can help somebody. But I'm going to do it in a very practical way where I could cook somebody a meal, I can clean someone's clothes or house, or just stuff that's really mundane and non-flashy. So whatever the hell that is for you, right? I know my housemates love going into the yard and doing gardening. They love that, and they have the same kind of energy. They also love having things make sense, make it make sense. Energy, would be important with a person who has a Virgo moon, which is what your birth time that we've established it as a Virgo moon. Now, if you get your real birth time, it's possible. This is, you're right in the dead center either way. So yeah, I won't talk anymore about that because it might change your stuff, but at least according to this right now. And if it doesn't make sense for you, if it doesn't sound right, then maybe maybe we definitely should look up a birth time. But according to this I'm reading that structure would be important, especially according to things that you value. Money, food, finances, these are things where you're going to, even love, you're going to be very serious about these items, these people, the bank account. You're thinking about building for the long haul, for the long term. So you might be, in terms of food, very serious. Like I don't play around. That's my duty. That's my responsibility. So whether it's professionally, doesn't have to be. It can be in the home where I take this very seriously. I don't mess around with this. Like I am focused on this. And I take on a role of being the boss figure when it comes to this. According to this, you would relate it to health. According to this, if this is right. The value and the connection with your financial health as well. This would be a big deal. Financial well-being, job, career. This is showing a Saturn and Taurus energy. These are people who work in the financials, banking, financial markets, and whatnot, because it's like, I'm a manager, I'm a boss energy. Now, do you do that work? Who knows? But you even have a vertex point on this, which I'm not going to stress too much about that because we really need a birth time to figure that out if that's a thing. Your Mercury is going to be warm and watery. It's going to be flexible and mutable. This is how you talk and communicate, creative ideas, creative communications, sound, empathy, high level of sensitivity, because you're also a Pisces sun. So creative stuff, movies, fantasy, dream energy, but you even have some depth to this energy, like soul energy, karmic energy connected to this, past life energy, or other times, other timelines, other realities, however you look at it. Your Venus and your money and your finances, interesting. New, different shocks, surprises, inventions, maybe crypto, Bitcoin, that kind of stuff. Your Venus is here. Venus wants like cutting edge shit. She likes things that move fast and that's exciting. However, you have a strong air trine there. If this is your chart, wow. Wow. Okay. So in relationships, this Venus is showing that there's bonded energy on the soul level because you have strong connections here with partnerships. And these partnerships can be peers, can be friends, but also significant one-on-one relationships, maybe even authority figure energy. But there's something here about exciting, different, new, and unconventional in relationships, especially in communication and talking and negotiating or just bantering back and forth, like talking about like communication. is really pronounced excitement and a shock value, the shock value. So again, unconventional relationships. This can be personal and or professional for you. Okay, so you've got a Jupiter in Saggy and you have a Mars at 29. All right. I don't know who your stuff is without a actual birth time, so I can't talk about that for you. But what we can discuss is how you're having a Neptune trining Neptune right now. Whoa. So spiritual life, some sense of spiritual activity, dissolving of the ego is probably happening if it hasn't already begun, which I'm sure it already has, because we have Aries at 3 degrees up here, 4 degrees, going to 3 degrees. Neptune's up here. It's trining your Neptune, and you have a retrograde Neptune. So this is about my thoughts that I keep. And this is about understanding the connection of creating, of manifesting, but being the originator of our reality. And it beginning with pulling the weeds out of the garden type of thing, the weeds of the mind. So ego, pride, any narcissistic, tendencies. Saggy usually tends to be quite confident and usually can pass subconscious judgments, very judgmental energy. Not all the time, but it can be, right? And so with a Neptune trining Neptune, it can help dissolve that. It can help bring that to your awareness. It can help rectify it. It can help heal that energy for you. Oh, wow. South Node in Leo. Yeah, very different, unique, unconventional, very independent energy. So in terms of, this would play a role in the relationship energy too. Venus is, loves the group energy, but also loves the independence. Loves the group, but also loves her independence. And you have a superpower, South Node, that in the Leo, so I'm boss energy, but independent energy, very strong and very creative. Like creative to the degree where you're inventing creations that have never been created before. Really strong. So it's all about you just using your creativity, you choosing how to express it. And just know that with a person with a Mars at 29 degrees in Sagittarius, holy shit, this person is up and ready for an adventure at any time. They are also seeking and searching for the truth. But the word adventure, this comes up. And truth and wisdom, Jupiter can be a lawyer, can be a judge. So, but traveling even comes up. And in old astrology, like how did we travel, right? We were on horseback. Yeah. So Mars is like ready to get out there and go. But Mars and Saggy can even be like the martial artist. Doesn't mean you have to do that, but it's Mars, I take action, and Sagittarius, it's spiritual activity, right? So if it's not being physically active, then it can take that route of different forms of meditations. I don't know whether it's Tai Chi or, just things that have a connection to something deeper. Because some say, like, for them, different yogas, and, because it's spiritual teacher kind of energy is Sagittarius, where I lead Mars at 29. It's also a fighter for truth and justice, a seeker of truth and justice. Okay, I'm babbling now. All right, so I hope that makes sense for you. Will I reunite with my Capricorn twin flame soon? Holy shit. That's, without a birth time. So you think this sounds like you? And you're saying you want to reunite with your Capricorn twin flame, that means. Wow. Just so we all know, like that twin flame energy, there's usually a lot of pain there. I'm just saying. That's just the reality of the twin flame shit. And we don't know if this is your chart. as far as house cusp lines. But what's fascinating about this is that you have Capricorn in the 7th house of partnerships, but you have quite a bit of the Cappy too in the 8th house of trauma and of past wounds. And a lot of times, oh my God, that twin flame shit is just like, I don't know. It's an energy where we're bonded, but yet we don't realize that we weren't meant to just hold on to each other. We're meant to expand and to grow beyond. And one of the people in that relationship usually doesn't get that. And that's the one that suffers the most. So with that said, that's hard. You do have Jupiter in your 2nd house of love relationships. It would help to know if Jupiter was your great benefic, though, and I don't. So get your birth time and come back and we can look at that, because without a birth time, yeah, it helps to pinpoint the details. And you always have the choice. So if you want to get back with your Capricorn twin flame, then do it. But does that mean you'll be happy? That's a different question altogether. We might have short-term happiness, and that could mean an hour, that could mean 5 days, could mean 5 years. But by your question, this makes me wonder if this is near your birth time, because you got Scorpio in the 5th. But there's a lot of different ways it can look. Yeah. Well, I hope it resonates, and I'm glad that it resonates. We'll just say anything is possible at this point, because once the nodes go into Aquarius energy, your beliefs about your future are going to change. Okay? And your willingness to travel, your ability to travel, whether it's vacation or whatnot, you'll have the nodes going through that 9th house. Well, I shouldn't say that, because your 9th house isn't your 9th house until I know for sure. Yeah, you are welcome. You are welcome. All right. What time is it? 5 o'clock? All right. Is there anybody else here? I'm looking. So, all right, we did that one. So Chef Rihanna, I think you were next. Is Chef Rihanna here? And then Biddy. That was a half hour ago. These people probably, they might have left. Well, going once. Chef Rihanna, going once. Let me get the name on the screen. Maybe that'll help a little bit. I don't know. Chef Rihanna, going twice. It's your turn. Are you here? I know you had to wait a half hour. I apologize. I'm not sure at this time what time I was born. I was waiting for my birth certificate to come in the mail. Yeah, see, sometimes you got to wait. And mine didn't take a full 3 months. They give you a window. It came in a little under that, actually. I think it maybe was like 2 months or something. I can't remember. I think this was more than a year ago. Yeah, it might have been 2 years ago, now that I think about it. Chef Rihanna said, I'm here. Oh, thank you. All right, Chef Rihanna, let's get you in here. You're waiting. Great. Chef Rihanna, you can't come in here with that kind of a name and not expect some questions. What do you make, Chef? What's your signature dish, Chef? And I'll get your chart written up here. $11.44. Okay, so January 20th, 1979. $11:44 a.m. And this is St. George, Utah. Alrighty. Hey, Chef, have you seen your chart before? This is showing Aries on the ascendant. Aries at 26 degrees. Your moon, 22 degrees in Libra. Libra. Yes, Libra. Ooh. Jupiter retrograde in Leo at 4. You have Jupiter conjunct Jupiter right now. Wow. Holy shit. You're having your Jupiter return if this is you. With a Jupiter return, optimism, faith, confidence, publishing. Yeah, maybe a leadership role, boss energy, the future comes into play, the beliefs about my future, courageous and confident energy, front and center. Might streamline in a bit of spirituality into this. So Leo in the 4th house, really interesting. Another chart, well, the other chart we weren't sure on the birth time, but this chart, little bit, some Leo in the 4th, some Leo in the 5th. Very creative places. 5th house is the house of creativity, and you have Leo there, right? It's Leo's birthplace, Leo's home, Leo's comfortable there. You have a, holy shit, Sun and Mars conjunct at 0 degrees Aquarius. Oh my God. This is the mother and the father of inventions. Holy shit. Or the father and the son of inventions. You've got a tag team up there in being creative and unique. Oh my God. Chiron in Taurus at 5. Jupiter squaring that. And Jupiter's your greater benefic. Well, look at that. Taurus is food. You got Virgo and Libra in the 6th house of perfection and Virgo energy. Libra energy says I'm going to make it beautiful as well. Wow. Are you really a chef? Okay, so let's take a look here. Yeah, the sun and the Mars energy up there in the Aquarius, this is like group energy. It's the sign of the humanitarian, actually. You follow? Altruistic energy. I usually talk about this Aquarian energy as obviously space, science, and astrology, right? But like Habitat for Humanity, volunteering, people doing things and expecting nothing in return type of energy. Not that, we got to get paid. Everyone's got to feed themselves and put a roof over their head, but you have a lot of Aquarian energy up there, and some of that in your 10th house of this is what I'm working towards. And you have Capricorn there with Mercury at your midheaven. Holy shit. Okay, the networker, communications, different ideas for business and what you're building. Like I said, Aquarian energy, the humanitarian, feeding possibly. groups of people, like food banks and shit like that. But the Aquarian energy is like on a global scale. It goes big. So these would be people, oh my God, why can't I remember the name? There's multiple groups, but the one everybody knows, the one with Chef Andre, what the hell is that? Oh, I can't remember the name right now. I guess that means it's been too long since I've donated. If I can't remember the name. But you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing what they do. Dangerous as hell, but look at Mars is a first responder. Do you see that shit? You got it at 0. These people are, they take intense to a whole nother level. And especially in the kind of work those folks do, they show up on the scene after devastation, and it's like, wow. So that is some special kind of stuff. Not saying, that is totally, that's some deep, intense stuff. So it's fascinating. You have like a health report card of the group, a health report card of the system and the structure and how it's working or not. Innovative energy. Sirius is here too. More food energy, more supply chain energy, taking a leadership role in it, being very creative with it. But this is a need for you. This would be something that satisfies you, like your moon energy does. Wow. Nice trine to your moon over here, which would be professional partnerships, work-related partnerships. Can be personal, of course, because this can be domestic energy too, like the people I live with. Can be both, but your Pluto energy is connected not too far from this moon. This adds another layer of intensity. Talks about the past. This can also be traumas. This can also be I come to help heal, right? And what could be more comforting? Like Taurus is the creature comforts, and you have Chiron in Taurus, which talks about a wound in my values, a wound in self-worth, a wound related to the earth and even food and nature and creature comforts. And your Jupiter in a square with that. Fascinating because you have this big T-square, actually, with the Chiron and the Jupiter. This creates some stress and tension. But because Jupiter is your great benefic, you're likely going to be doing something with this energy, because when we have these angles like this, it doesn't mean we can't get shit done. It just means we have to work a little bit harder. And usually we master it because it's a lifetime of this. And anything you have for a lifetime that's a challenge, well, by the time you get up there and you start to mature, you really become freaking good at something because you've had to hit it from every different angle to make the shit work and to figure it out. As opposed to somebody where the shit just came easily and they don't even know how they did it, right? This would be a person who's had to be like, nope, not working that way. We got to do it another way. We got to try it another way. And you have Saturn in Virgo. Wow. Service energy. I'm here to serve. Oh my God, you have group energy on your 6th house cusp line of the Virgo stuff, of serving. So whether literally service or serving, that can be military stuff. That can be, anyway, it can be just showing up in the service industry, but it can also literally mean, we're here to provide. You have group energy here as well, but very structured, long-term goals connected to this and what I'm building, like legacy type of energy here. And leadership role in that. And it trines your midheaven. It's a strong trine to your midheaven and your Mercury. Well, that's kind of nice. This tells me that this would be because Earth energy is really stabilizing. So it's something that we see as it's tangible and we can do something with it. We can make it work. And having exciting and new in the 7th house of partnerships and different and unconventional partnerships. What are we bonded over? We're bonded over our shared values, but there's also some depth here. Again, it's the Scorpio energy of traumas of the past. So just there's some healing work here with Scorpio and with this Pluto stuff. We bring change with our innovation. We bring change, like surprises even. Shared values. And that absolutely can be if we're using the food in that way. but really creative and outside of the box. Let me see something real quick here. Shows another perspective on one's wound, sometimes an understanding of why the wound or acted the way they did. Okay, so where was this? You have Aureus as part of this big trine with Mercury. Oh, that's fascinating. And your North Node. So, okay, all right. So does this sound like you? Let me flip back over and look at your chat. Let me see. So we can see if we should save this for you. Yeah, your North Node is in Virgo, so I have to serve, and it's connected to that Saturn energy. So very, okay, so, all right, let me see here. Where did she go? Follow, I love to give. Sometimes I forget to give to myself. Okay, I see you now. I'm a vacation home private chef, large groups all the time. There you go, large groups all the time. Okay, all the time. So different, right? You're always changing. The partnerships are always changing, I'm assuming. Vacation home private chef, which means, well, actually, I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know if that means you're bebopping around to different homes. So it's like contract work. You know, you get a new client all the time, because the Uranus energy would kind of, I mean, it could be servicing group, but it could also mean that you're switching up. I forget, and I sometimes forget myself. This is your South Node in Pisces sacrifice energy, and it's in the 12th house. Just so you know, that would be that spot on for you. And it's even at the Virgo degree. Holy shit. Okay, it is always changing. Then that makes sense. Okay, great. Current soulmate, any advice? Do you think you're with your current soulmate? Or are you saying you're on the search for? Because you have a Jupiter return. Remember I spoke about that? Yeah, that can spark the romance department. So if a soulmate for you is masculine energy, because Jupiter would represent masculine energy, and I'm looking at your chart real quick to see if I have 29 degrees. Your love energy is in the 8th house. So, of course, you're looking for your soulmate energy. And it's, yeah, I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. Let me show this to you just so that you understand. And maybe you already do understand, but maybe I need to verbalize it. 8th house, you see this setup you have here? This is your love language, your love relationships. This is that Neptune energy, all right? They come close together. They're conjunct, they're close by. So this can be very dreamy, very fantasy. It doesn't mean that you're not with somebody that's considered soulmate energy. It doesn't mean you're not. It just means that we might be in love with the idea of that, because Neptune is very strong. Neptune can provide a certain sort of perspective where we might not see clearly, right? It's more dreamy and fantastical. Now, with that all said, the deeply bonded energy, you may have plenty of opportunities with Sagittarius and 8 where you are meeting people where you connected deeply on a soul level. You follow? So what is it that, you know, you have to ask yourself about your expectations of something like that, you know, in terms of where do I think that takes me? Like, does that mean we get Like, are you looking for marriage? You see, I'm saying this because Sagittarius energy is about freedom. I have the freedom to roam. I have the freedom to meet all of these people and to, kind of rebond with them, because it's a Jupiter kind of energy. It's kind of like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. We're on a search and we're constantly exploring and seeking, and we don't want to miss anything or anyone. You follow? And having Uranus in the 7th house as well also speaks to unconventional, deeply bonded relationships. Can be the soul energy. And it can also be where they could be short-term relationships, which is a very real thing. You can absolutely have these deep, intense relationships, and they can be, according to our timeline, short, right? So that's why I'm trying to find out what you're looking for in that answer of, is this somebody I'm going to stay with? Is this somebody that it's a life? See, it's really more about you, not them. This is more about you figuring this out, because the Saggy energy wants freedom, ultimately, at the end of the day. However, you do have Libra energy on the 7th house there, and they need a partnership, right? A partnership is what they value. Even by degree, you have that. Even by your moon, it says, but I need to be in a relationship. So you just might find that it can be challenging. And it's the soulmate ones that hurt the most, sister. The twin flames and the soulmate ones, those are the ones that are the most painful, because they are the ones where we are energetically so invested. And how deeply do you want to be invested in them? How deeply do you want to be invested in that relationship? It doesn't mean you can't have, I often think of my housemates, not that they don't have a connection, but they have it more on a practical, tangible level where it just works. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, they have some deep soul resonating stuff, but not in a Scorpio deeply bonded way of intensity. Theirs isn't like that. It does have hints of it, but it's not like that. They don't have Saggy in the 8th. Saggy in the 8th is Scorpio energy. And with Saggy, it says it's going to bring it on big. And when the wounds come, they're intense. They hit you right here, right? They're deep. So, and Scorpio energy also kind of wants the all-in shit. It says, I am 110% in this, and it demands nothing less from somebody else. So I know you have balance on that 7th house cusp line. And to me, if you can find somebody who can kind of match those qualities for you, who honor some independence and some freedom, where you each have your own lives kind of thing, but yet you can come back to base and like a healthy interdependent relationship, then sure. But with all the soul energy you have, which you do, because you have a South Node in Pisces too. So there's going to be connections in just the regular, everyday, mundane stuff, especially when you're meeting a lot of different people. If you're cooking for a lot of different people, like, holy crap, this will probably give you ample opportunities to connect with people, because you have a lot of strong water. So you have a lot of strong water and fire. So okay. I'm with one now, karmic. Yes, I've been healing the illusion in love. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And then when we think we've healed it, when we think we did it, there's some other shit that happens, and it says to us, oh, but there's still a little bit more here, right? And so, yeah, because the 8th house is the house of wounds, of trauma. And with Saggy there, it expands upon whatever it is that's there, whatever those wounds and whatever the vulnerabilities are. It kind of takes it and it's like, it blows it up. It goes really big. You know, it's like taking a balloon and you just keep going bigger and bigger and bigger. Think of that Jupiter energy. So it can have a very positive outlook on it, and it can make a connection with people that we vibe with on a deeply spiritual path, even. It can take that route. And sometimes that's even the better route, especially if we're able to not be physically intimate. Then that, yeah, that can be, yeah, sometimes that's a good route to take. Because it's otherwise it's rough. But you sound, I met my TF2. I'm sorry, my TF 2 years ago. It's hard to have a relationship without him still pulling on my energy. Yeah, you have a Pisces South node. This is extreme sensitivities. You follow? And Pisces energy, you kind of mentioned it earlier about the sacrificing, although you didn't use the word, but that's what you're doing. And Pisces has to learn how to set up physical and energetic boundaries. That's one of the missions because of the levels of, and we feel overwhelmed, right? Yeah. But I'm not waiting for him. I'm watching to heal the wounds that come. Wow. Okay. So you're looking down on the forest. You're like, I see what's going on here. All right. Well, good for you. Brilliant. Yeah. All right. Well, good. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, the soul thrives for that deep shit, and it's hard, especially if you crave deep relationships. You know, you don't want like the frilly, nilly willy, whatever crap. You're looking for a deep connection. So it just adds to the complexities of it, you know. But that's life. It's complex, and that's just something we all have to accept. It's just reality. All right, we are moving on. It was good talking with you, Chef. Who was after the chef, though? I think we had one, and it was Biddy or something. Is Biddy here? Who was that? Let me scroll. Yeah, it was Biddy. Biddy, are you here? We're at 5:30, though, so I'm going to take one more. If there's one more here to take. If not, then I'm out. But I got Biddy on the screen, June 13th, 1981. Intellectual beacon of joy resonates. That's nice. As above, so below. Spiritual. Yeah. My dog. Yeah. I never know when I'm being too intense. That should be on a t-shirt. Because the people who get it will get it. I never know when I'm being too intense. Absolutely. We're the last ones to know. God knows I never knew until people told me. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I am a little intense. Shit. You're welcome, Samantha. I'm sorry I didn't see any of that before. All right. So did Biddy bail? Biddy said, I'm here. Biddy, you got in just in time. Look at that. All right, Biddy, thank you for waiting around. Let me see if just double checking. All right. So let me go back and find Biddy's digits. All righty, I think I got you right here. Back on the screen, June 13th, 9 a.m. Is that your real birth time? Like, I mean, exactly 9 a.m.? Just curious. June 13th, 1981. And we got 9 a.m. in Sydney, Australia. Oh, it's getting cold in here. The air's on and it's getting frigid air. Frigid air. I didn't spell that right. Hold on. LIA. Yes. Have you seen your chart before, Biddy? This is showing Mercury and Venus in your 12th. You have a Cancer rising at 20 degrees here. You have a Scorpio moon at 0 degrees. Oh boy. Jupiter at 0 degrees. Okay. The 0 degrees are pretty intense. It's extreme energy. Big, grand 25, 26, big grand air trine in your chart. That's mind energy, networking, talking, communication, back and forth, learning, teaching, communications, partnerships, personal and professional. Your South Node is there too. Another person with some Uranian Aquarius energy in their 7th house. Saggy and Aquarius, those are tricky there. That's a tricky location. Yeah. Because it's really fiery, independent energy. You know, Saggy, fiery, Aquarius is air, but it's got, you know, I'm the boss of myself, or I'm the boss of this relationship, right? So it can be tricky for yourself and for the other person. But intellectual energy is the Aquarian stuff. That's the creative intellect. So Sun in Gemini, communication, go wild, go big, because you got it at the Jupiter degree. Learning. And you've got in the 11th house, so social media might be a thing. But to be honest with you, when people have their mind energy in the 11th house, they have a strong rebelliousness about them. There's something there where there's like a refusal to conform, especially since you have Mars there. And it's conjunct your 11th house cusp line. It does trine your Saturn though, so that makes that can temper the Mars a little bit. And so another grand air trine. You have that grand air trine around the 21, 22, 23 degrees, and you have one around the 0 all the way to 5 degrees. Include your node. Wow. Yeah. And your Sun trining your Pluto in the partnership energy. Holy shit. Strong, intense partnerships, but you need to see changes within partnerships or there's going to be a problem. You want to see growth. You want to see progress. You want to see change. Absolutely. Yeah, it is an interesting chart, isn't it? So that Scorpio moon, these can be really psychic people. Scorpio moon at 0 degrees. And in the 3rd house, if this is the right birth time, I don't know. Did you say if this is your chart or not? The 0 degree moon. Have you seen your chart? Where's this chat at? Biddy, I'm here. Thanks. Yes. No. Yes. No. So I'm guessing that means you haven't seen your chart. Yes, that's my birth time. No, I haven't seen it. Okay. Well, with a moon at the 0 degrees, these people have the ability to penetrate other people's energy. These are the super detectives of the Zodiac. In the 3rd house, these people can be, if they're not careful, they might be called nosy. You know, because they're the detectives. They're always investigating. They're always challenging. They're always being like, is that shit true? Especially something they read or something somebody said. They might challenge others at that 0 degrees. But the other thing here is because it's the moon energy, there might be some other information that comes in, which is like, you know, no, what you just read isn't the truth. Like, this is the truth, right? Because it's really psychic. So it has to have a high level of discernment to really work that energy well, to utilize its power in a beneficial way. Otherwise, it can cause a lot of havoc, especially with siblings, neighbors, coworkers, and peers and cousins. It can cause a lot of crap because we may know shit that we have no business knowing. Like we just know things, right? Private things even that we had no business knowing. If we're young, we might share some of those things and that might cause some problems. You also have a retrograding Mercury in the 12th house, where this Mercury is probably going to know some things too. 12th house is the house of I just know the shit. I don't know how I know it. I just know it. Your Mercury is here and it's in a retrograde, which means it goes really inward. You may rethink thoughts, rethink the past over and over, broken record. A lot of stuff cued into mom and family and home and foundations and childhood, ancestry. You might even want to visit, the mother country or whatever, where your ancestors are from. Maybe even education overseas, possibly learning overseas. That's a possibility because of the Mercury up there and the Pallas Athena right there. So there's a strategist energy that's involved here. All right, so let me flip over and see if there's anything here. If Biddy thinks this sounds like Biddy's chart. Biddy. Haven't seen, but that's my time exactly, 100% accurate. Okay, so this is you. This sounds like you. Good. Are you creative? Do you paint? Or are you into music? You have fiery energy and a fiery house of creativity, and you have Neptune there. Now, what I'm going to say is, because your Neptune's at a Uranus degree, which means it's very different. So I might not just be like a traditional, this is the way I use paints. There's going to be something about unique creations here. Unique creations. Sound can be a thing, though, as well. Maybe instruments or whatever the hell kind of sound you decide to choose to create. But you're going to want harmony. You want it to be harmonious. This goes back to your Jupiter energy. Something that is pleasant and pleasing. Something that is a strong sense of, we'll just say harmony, peace and harmony. So soothing, maybe, right? Maybe soothing. But yeah, these significant one-on-one relationships and the change that's demanded of you, you see, you have Pluto conjunct Juno. These are significant relationships like marriage and business partnerships. Some people are like, but I'm not married. Okay, then you're not married. Anything that is a partnership that you have. I'm not married to my mother, but yet there's a lot of things, a lot of ways in which I'm tied directly and connected to her. So she would be considered Libran energy for me. You follow? Like there's things I committed to do for her. You follow? So a lot of folks can show up in this place of your chart if it's not like a love thing. It doesn't have to be. All right. It's our level of commitment when it comes to partnerships. And this has got a boss element to it. So masculine energy possibly. But I expect deep changes with the Pluto. And the changes to create healing. It's ultimately to heal. This can be tricky. Usually people who have their Pluto in the Libra, they always have the partnerships on their mind. They're always trying to figure that shit out because it's Pluto, the detective. You also have this, Uranus in Scorpio. Yeah, more information that comes through like a lightning bolt. It's connected to friends and group energy. It's innovative. It has like this authoritarian spin on it. Technology comes up here. Technology is a big one. You have this in the home. If this is your chart, you have this in the home. So an unconventional home, unconventional childhood, an unconventional type of mother, something very unique about her, something very unique about you and your current home, or the way in which you nurture others and yourself. There's some powerful energy connected to healing with this. You follow? Like your nurturing can provide healing. And with that Scorpio moon, again, we just know shit. So fascinating chart. Taurus at the midheaven, finances, values, food, banking, creature comforts. Oh Lord, what happened? Let me move this out of the way. All right, so since you have the nodes in Leo and in Aquarius, you're going to be having a nodal reversal, which means if you're not aligned with your soul's goals, the nodal reversal will make changes, and you will get aligned with your soul's goals according to self and partnerships. Myself, my unique, authentic, creative self, and being the authority of my own life, and those collective partnerships or personal relationships. I mean, it's all kind of mixed in here, but unique relationships, very independent yet partnered up. How does that work? I don't know exactly. I don't have Aquarius in my 7th. And the people I know who have that strong Aquarian or Uranus in their 7th, there's challenges because there's such an independent streak. So, which is why I usually say, well, when they use it in a professional manner, they usually find it's a little bit easier, right? Because Aquarius is not very personable energy to begin with. It's actually a very detached energy. You know, it's like the scientist, those engineers where they're like in the laboratory all day and their minds are just loving all that shit, and they might not be real good for, you know, the one-on-one thing. But a moon at 0 degrees is gonna want the deep, deep connection. A moon at 0 degrees. If this is in the right placement, the Scorpio energy is going to demand that. It's going to need it. It's going to need someone who is 110% all in. So this is what makes this hard. I mean, you have a giant T-square with your moon and the nodes angling your moon. Now, when the nodal reversal comes around, whatever those partnerships look like right now, they're going to change. And if the partnerships themselves don't change, then something within those partnerships are going to change, and it's going to better align with your soul's goals. Okay? And your soul's goal is directly connected to your creative energy, but your heart energy, your individuality, your authenticity. This is stepping into your own confidence and not relying on the group. You follow? Being able to be in the spotlight instead of leaning on group energy and the group approval, or even wanting to blend into the collective. Now this is a time to shine your own light. Cultivate courage, creativity, self-expression so you can enjoy the joy of living your authentic self. And because it's in your first house, it has everything to do with how you appear. So maybe it's just nothing more than the way you dress, the way you wear your hair, Leo energy, or whatever you put on your head, right? However you do that. So recently I was watching, I don't know what it was. Somehow it came up on my feed because I'm nowhere but on YouTube. And there was some dude, you know, there are people who do like they're craftsmen. So you see somebody making shoes or cleaning shoes. You see somebody making hats. Well, this guy was making a hat, different kind of like fedoras and cowboy hats and shit. And he was talking about how people have to kind of step into their hat. They have to be confident to wear that hat because a lot of people don't feel they have the confidence, you know, and this Leo energy makes me think about that. And I'm not saying you have to wear hats, but there's kind of something like that because Leo energy, it's so funny. I was thinking about this earlier today on my walk. It kind of popped in. The ringmaster in the circus, that's Leo energy. It's fun. It's exciting. There's always something going on. It's entertaining. There's an element of daring action that's happening. So it takes a lot of courage. It's colorful though, right? It's bright. And the ringmaster always has, you know, he has this hat on his head. Because as kids, our dad took us to the circus quite a bit. And so you would see the animals, right? You're dealing with animals. And so you got to be brave to deal with, elephants and tigers and lions and shit. And so there's something here with the North Node where you're becoming the king of the jungle. And you're going to state that, you express that by how you dress. And with the partnership energy, what happens here is you won't be so dependent on the opinions of the partners. You follow? It won't depend on what they think or what their interpretation is of your creativity. Does that make sense? And as far as being very creative and unique, this will give you the confidence to step forward with more of that creativity. Because remember, right? Like right now, as you're here today, Jupiter right now is sitting. Where's my chart at? Yeah, see the Jupiter over here at 2 degrees? Well, your natal North Node is at 2 degrees, you see? So you had Jupiter coming upon your North Node. And it gives you that courage. It thinks about the future. And it says, I'm going to start searching and seeking and change maybe even my own life philosophy, especially when it pertains to myself and how I uniquely stand out. Sometimes the Cancer energy, all in the 12th, it likes to stay hidden. You follow? It likes to stay in the crab shell because it feels comfortable. That's where home is. But Leo is the entertainer, even if it's doing something on a camera, but nobody can see my face, which doesn't make sense when we're talking Leo energy. But there can be an image of you, something you created, as long as it's something that's an expression of you. Makes sense? So that energy is going to come through for you. You already have the Leo happening. It's going to be a while before the South Node does the reversal on your North Node. I mean, it's damn near going to take, 15 months. 15 months before it gets there. So you could always come back. There's some time off before that happens for you. All right. Okay, so we're about wrapping this up now. We are out of time. Thank you so much for the feedback. We do this every week, multiple times a week. Put the channel bell, buzzer, dinger, ringer, whatever the hell that thing is, so that you get an alert whenever we go live. These are free readings, and we do not run ads during the live stream. For that reason, we want us to be as smooth as possible, a more appealing experience. And if there's, anytime you're here, you want to help the channel, you can share the live stream out. That helps me to keep doing what we're doing. And every now and then, somebody who wants longer time on their chart and they have the ability, they send a channel gift and we spend more time on their chart. But in the meantime, for those who don't have that, you just come on back the next time and get your digits in the chat. It comes first come, first serve, right? But you got to stay in the chat. If I call your name and you don't respond and you're not here, I go to the next name. So we are going to be back again sometime during the week. And then definitely on Saturday night, right? Every Saturday we do something. 2 Saturdays out of the month, we do this at 7 p.m. And the other 2 Saturdays, we do it privately. So you're always welcome to send me an email. It's running across the bottom of the screen. And you can get in touch with me if you want to partake in a private lives or in a astrology class. It's made to fit everybody at their level, wherever they're at. So just reach out to me if you got questions. And with that, I'm out. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe out there and stay cool. And thank you for everyone who sent a gift to the channel. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. It enables me to continue doing what I'm doing. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.